What's good, world? We over here at SoReal Sounds still working on this Ram 3500. Our client decided to take his factory subwoofer out and install a JBL subwoofer into the factory enclosure. Now, it definitely isn't the right enclosure for it, so he wasn't getting good performance, but we did a couple of things to the enclosure to help with its performance, improve its bass response a little bit, so I want to show you some of those things that we did.
You'll see here right on the face of this subwoofer enclosure, right on the baffle, we have our ballistic sound deadening material applied to it. It's definitely great to do to any enclosure, but especially ones that are plastic, it's really important to do that so that the enclosure doesn't flex so much. On the inside of this enclosure, we actually have a lot of sound deadening material in there as well too, so it's actually on both sides. But the main reason that we put it on this front face here is the factory subwoofer had more than 4 mounting points. There was actually a bunch of holes all around this, which was letting some of the sound waves from inside the enclosure escape, which is canceling out when it hits the front of the speaker. So we put this here mainly to cover up those holes and seal it up, also to make the enclosure stronger from flexing, but this will definitely help with the performance of this woofer. So if you look here, there's an opening over here. This hole is actually the back side of the JBL subwoofer. That's what we call a vented pole piece. Now, these openings here are designed to let some of the heat out from inside the speaker so the voice coil can cool down and perform properly. Now, when you have a subwoofer with a vented pole piece, you need to actually have the back side of the enclosure be a certain distance away from it so that it can actually put air out properly. Now, on this factory enclosure here, the back wall was actually completely up against it and covering that hole, so it definitely was not breathing. So what we did is we opened up the back side of this opening here. You'll see this little foam gasket we have here. There's actually a second one on the inside of the enclosure, so that way it seals the speaker to the back wall of the enclosure, but now that vented pole piece can breathe and let the heat out so that the subwoofer can perform much better.